Imagine waking up to the news of another record-breaking heat wave, another massive wildfire, or another powerful hurricane causing widespread destruction. Events like these seem to be happening more frequently than ever before. As we see these changes occurring around the world, an important question arises. Is human activity the primary cause of current global climate change? Some people believe that climate change is simply part of Earth's natural cycle. Others argue that humans are the main reason that the planet is warming. Today, I will demonstrate that the overwhelming scientific evidence supports the conclusion that human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, is the primary cause of the climate change we are experiencing today. Before discussing the evidence, it is important to understand the difference between weather and climate. Weather refers to short-term atmospheric conditions, such as whether it's sunny, raining, cloudy, snowing outside, whereas temperature, or climate, on the other hand, refers to long-term patterns and averages measured over decades. Earth's climate has changed naturally throughout history. Ice ages have come and gone, temperatures have risen and fallen due to volcanic activity, changes in solar energy, and variation in the Earth's orbit around the sun. However, scientists have found that the rapid warming occurring today cannot be explained by those natural factors alone. One of the strongest pieces of evidence comes from greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, naturally trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere. Without them, life on Earth would not be possible because the planet would be too cold. So the problem is that human activities have significantly increased the concentration of these gases. Since the Industrial Revolution, people have relied heavily on fossil fuels, like coal, oil, and natural gas, to power factories, vehicles, homes, and our businesses. When these fossil fuels are burned, they release a large amount of the carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. Scientists have measured the atmospheric carbon dioxide levels for decades. Before the Industrial Revolution, carbon dioxide levels measured at approximately 280 parts per million, whereas today they are exceeding 420 parts per million. This dramatic increase closely matches the rise in fossil fuel use around the world. Even more importantly, scientists can identify where this carbon dioxide is coming from. Carbon released by fossil fuels contains a unique chemical signature that distinguishes it from carbon dioxide produced through natural processes. When researchers analyze the atmospheric carbon, they consistently find evidence that the increase is primarily caused by human activity. Temperature records also provide another compelling line of evidence. According to major scientific organizations, Earth's average surface temperature has increased by approximately 1.1 degrees Celsius, which is about 34 degrees Fahrenheit, since the late 19th century. While that number may not sound dramatic, it represents a tremendous amount of additional heat spread across our entire planet. In fact, the last decade has been the warmest period ever recorded in modern history. As greenhouse gas concentrations have increased, global temperatures have increased as well. Some people argue that the sun is responsible for today's warming. That explanation sounds pretty reasonable at first. However, scientific observations do not support this claim. Satellite measurements show that solar activity has remained relatively stable over the past several decades, while global temperatures have continued to rise. Additionally, scientists observe warming near Earth's surface while the upper atmosphere is cooling. This pattern is exactly what researchers expect from greenhouse gas emissions and not from increased solar energy. Others argue that current climate change is simply part of a natural cycle. While natural cycles certainly affect Earth's climate, scientists use advanced computer models to test this idea. When climate models include only natural factors such as volcanic eruptions and solar changes, they fail to reproduce the warming observed during the last century. However, when human-generated greenhouse gases are added to these models, the results closely match the temperature increases that have actually occurred. In other words, human influence is necessary to explain what we are observing today. The consequences of human-caused climate change are already visible around the world. Rising temperatures contributing to intense heat waves, longer wildfire seasons, melting glaciers, rising sea levels, and changing weather patterns. Many communities are experiencing stronger storms, more severe droughts, and increased flooding. These impacts affect agriculture, public health, wildlife, economies, and infrastructure. Climate change is no longer a prediction about the future, it's a reality that is affecting people today. Some critics worry that addressing climate change could hurt economic growth. However, many economists and experts argue that the long-term costs of inaction will be much greater than the costs of reducing emissions. Investing in renewable energy efficiency, and cleaner technologies can create jobs while helping to reduce pollution and slow climate change. Economic growth and environmental responsibilities do not have to be opposing goals. As I conclude, I want to return to the question we started with. Is human activity the primary cause of current global climate change? The evidence points overwhelmingly to one answer. Rising greenhouse gas concentration, chemical analysis of atmospheric carbon, temperature records, and climate models studies all lead to the same conclusion. Human activity is the primary driver of the climate change occurring today. Recognizing this fact is important because understanding the cause of a problem is the first step to solving it. The decisions we make regarding energy use, technology, and environmental policy will help determine the future of our planet.